What is happening? What is up? This episode's all about the wide receivers you need to be targeting if you're looking at the NFL slate for Week 6. CeeDee Lamb is primed for a massive Week 6 against the Detroit Lions. I have CeeDee projected to exceed 100 receiving yards on approximately 8 receptions, and I think he has a 55 to 60% chance of scoring a touchdown this week. The Detroit Lions defense ranks 18th in passing yards allowed, and I expect CeeDee to absolutely wreck the Lions defense, especially when they run man. I like CeeDee this week. CeeDee is my number one player on the board for wide receivers in Week 6. Ja'Marr Chase needs no introduction. The man is having an absolute monster season. And I don't want to say this too much, but I told you so. I often was taking Chase with the number one pick in best ball drafts over the summer, and I have been proven right by this man just going out and absolutely going nuclear week in and week out and putting himself back in contention to be in the conversation of the wide receiver one in the NFL. I project Chase to get about 86 to 92 yards receiving this week, and I like him for the anytime touchdown as well. I believe we see him end Week 6 with 6 receptions, and he should be able to exploit this Giants defense. Now, it's a bummer that Malik Nabers has been ruled out, because I would have loved to see these two wide receivers go back and forth, up and down the field. However, we have been robbed of that due to Nabers' injury. But the matchup couldn't be any better for Chase. The Giants defense ranks 21st in passing yards allowed and 23rd in receptions allowed. They are absolutely vulnerable through the air, and the Bengals defense has been a liability all season, which has forced them to be aggressive on offense. If Daniel Jones can keep the ball moving with Rondell Robinson and without Malik Nabers on the field, I expect this game to stay competitive enough where Chase could go off. I like the idea of laddering his 100+ yards this week as well. Guys, you gotta do me a favor. Please subscribe to the channel, drop me a like, and leave me a comment. I really need them, and I appreciate you guys. You guys are the reason I'm able to grow. None of this happens without you, so I appreciate you guys, but please do me a favor. Show me some love on these videos. I just found something interesting when I was looking at the next player that's on the board, and that's Amon-Ra St. Brown in a great matchup of the Cowboys and Lions. The CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra going up and down the field on both sides of the ball matchup here. They've got the line set at 77.5 for rushing and receiving yards. Higher is what I'm going to take there. And then the receiving yards are also set at 77.5 as well. So why wouldn't you, even on a guy that doesn't run the ball out of the backfield that much or get that many runs, why wouldn't you take the rushing and receiving yards higher than 77.5 here, like I'm doing? Now, I know he has struggled in the last 2 weeks, failing to reach this line in both games. He definitely had some down weeks. I project him to get about 85 receiving yards this week. Dallas is a middle-of-the-road defense in defensive metrics. However, they allow the catch and run, the yak, to opposing wide receivers, which is St. Brown's specialty. I expect this game and this game flow and this defensive matchup to really play into Amon-Ra's strengths. I like him to exceed his prop this week. I want to talk about Chris Olave for a minute. Massive letdown last week. Completely honest, had 1 reception. Terrible game. Now, enter Spencer Rattler. He gets up on the podium and says, Olave's my guy. I'm going to feed Olave. He's the guy I want to throw to. I'm so lucky to have Olave. Olave. He says all those things. The Bucs are the 4th worst defense in the NFL against the pass, allowing 16.4 receptions per game to opposing wide receivers. Along with that, they're being targeted at the 3rd highest rate in the NFL by opposing wide receivers at 25.6 targets per game. And all of those metrics lead them to be the 7th worst team in the NFL as far as receiving yards allowed to opposing wide receivers. I think this is an interesting spot for Olave to bounce back. I don't mind the higher than 47.5 receiving yards, but I think the receptions at 4.5 is also interesting here. I expect a relatively big week for Olave. Hope you guys enjoyed the wide receiver edition of NFL Week 6. Let me know in the comments if you want me to keep dropping these videos and if you found them helpful. And remember, bet smart and win more.